is Pedro Mendes, and I will be your host for this lab of implementing failover clustering for Windows Server 2016. This is the 11th model of the 2070-40-3B course of the Microsoft official curriculum. So you're gonna use the virtual machines that come with the course and also the slideshows. This is only the lab, so I'm gonna do a little bit of introduction about the lab and failover clustering, and then you can follow the links for the more in detail theoretical content. Okay, so let's do it. So the model is composed of the overview what I will be talking about in a moment, implementing the failover cluster, the prerequisites, the hardware, everything you need to implement it. Then we're gonna configuring hyper-available applications and service for the failover cluster, do a maintenance of the failover cluster, and implementing a stretched cluster, which is a novelty for the Windows Server 2016. So, okay. What is availability? The improvements that were made to 2012 R2 server, the improvements on the 2016 edition, and what are the components, the difference in failover and failback, why you should do it, or what you need to do it. Talking a little bit about the networks that will support the failover cluster, and also the storage, obviously. And we're going to talk about what is quorum and what you'll do and why you need it in a Windows Server 2016 failover cluster. Cluster shared volumes and the improvements that were made. Okay. Availability is the level of service that we as IT should provide to the corporations or organization that we serve, and the objective is like 90% of the time, or 100%. So in Windows Server 2012 R2 we had some major change in failover clustering. The quorum and dynamic witness were a very big changing in this edition. The resilience on forced quorum resilience, the tiebreak for the 50% node split problems, that we also gonna see in the new feature of the stretch cluster, global update manager mode, the cluster node health detection, and the introduction of Active Directory service detached cluster. In this new edition of the Windows Server 2016 server, we can do cluster operation system rolling updates, which means that we can update 2012 R2 server and cluster to Windows Server 16 in the mixed mode. Storage replica, Azure Cloud Witness, the VM resilience, site-aware failover cluster. This is very important for the stretch clusters, and as something we do with the tiebreak node split, and the work group and multi-domain clusters. We are not, it's like an improvement of these new clusters. So the basic components of a cluster are obvious the nodes. You should have one or two nodes at least for the class to proper working. Usually they are active-active or active-passive. For Microsoft and most of the service we're going to use active-passive kind of cluster. We have the cluster storage that can be many types of shared and non-shared storage, from VDHDs to appliance networks, and obviously the clients that can use the networks for the cluster himself, or for management, for using the data. And you should have a dedicated networks between all the nodes of the cluster. And obviously when we stretch the cluster for multi-site clustering, we have to deal with this specification, because we are going to have to do one links jumps, so we have to take care of that. So failover is the process when one of the servers dies and or stops working for some reasons, and all the service and usually virtual machines are failover to the other nodes, or the other nodes. We can do it switch over, like manual switch over, or as automatic, that the cluster will work. The fallback is when we restore the server, or restart the server, or the node become available, the virtual machines or the service come back to the newly restored server, where they originally, before the disrupt happened, they were. We can do it planned or unplanned failovers, and we can automatic process the fallback if we need it or wanted to do it. Usually it's a good practice to configuring the fallback. So for the networks we talk about it, we have the public networks, private networks, or public and private networks. We have also, if depending on the kind of storage we have, if we have iSCSI storage, we should have a dedicated network for the connection. Also multiple network cards for performance and redundancy, multi-teaming, and using the MPEO feature on Windows Server to provide multipath redundancy. The storage, so as I talked about, it can include several options: SAS, iSCSI, Fiber Channel, Shared VHD X, and a scale-out file server. So there are plenty of options to use for the cluster. The quorum. The quorum basically defines the constants that are enough cluster members available to provide service in case of a failure. It's the quorum, or the way the quorum decides, that will decide where the service or the VMs are going to fail over to a new server or the new node, in case of a planned or unplanned failover. Based on votes, nodes, file share, shared disks, depending on the mode that you use. Usually I prefer to use dynamic quorum, and the server will decide what is best, but you can force it for your organization, or customize it as you like it. Okay. As I said, usually it can be a disk witness, a file share witness, and Azure Cloud witness. This is a novelty for the Windows Server 2016 edition. So usually all other kernel models should only be used in the specific case, and it's a best practice to always dynamic kernel. Cluster shared volumes have been here for quite some time. Basically, it permits that you can have like two nodes in active-passive mode, but the two nodes are accessing the disks, the shared disks, at the same time using it. So you can have active-passive one side and active-passive on the other side. So we came to the lab, and the lab is quite long. It's about 16 minutes, probably a little bit more, depending on how you set up your virtual machines, or what kind of hardware are you using. So it's let's do it. You can also try to do it with Hyper-V Labs. They are free, and usually you just have to try to accommodate the names and some details of the lab, but the stuff you can make anyway. So for the first exercise, we have to configure the iSCSI storage that we'll be using for the cluster shared volume and the shared storage for the cluster. Then we're going to configuring the cluster on the 3 nodes base, deploying and configuring high available file server for the cluster, validating the deployment, and then we're going to use it in configuring the cow for the failover cluster. Okay, we're going to use London domain controller 1, London server 1, London server 2, London server 3, and as needed the Windows Server 2016 NAT service that you should already have started. Okay, let's do pause for making for starting the virtual machines, and we're gonna be right back. So welcome back. Now we're gonna complete the full lab with exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3 and 4, 5. We're gonna start by booting up the virtual machines. I have already prepared my environment. You can also use the same environment that come with the course, or you can use the test lab guides from Microsoft and build your own server guide, lab guide. So the estimated time will be 60 minutes. We always be using the administrator account. It's not a good practice, but for lab purpose it will be more easily than all the tasks. The password will be this one. So let's start. This is the lab scenario. We always work as usual in the Adatum Corporation. We are the senior network administrator, so we are responsible for implementing the failover clustering on servers running the Windows Server 2016 to provide high availability for the network service and applications. Okay, we are also responsible for the configuration and deployment of those application and service to the failover cluster. Then we're gonna check our review. I'm gonna try to come back to this slide. So let's put the lab. Start. Okay, as I said, I'm gonna use these virtual machines for virtual machines and you should also use this one for internet connection and check if the virtual machines have the virtual internet connection. So I'm gonna boot up the virtual machines. They are in safe state, so it's gonna be quite fast. And I'm gonna do it by PowerShell. Okay, I have already the SAMDELET here, so I'm gonna get them and start the they should boot up in order as I specified in the statement. So you could also boot up them from the manager, so but as we have 5 different machines to boot up, it's quite easier to do it with the PowerShell. Also, I'm gonna try as much as possible to do all the exercises and tasks from only the domain controller, one DC1 through remote desktop and remote PowerShell and with the server manager. Okay, I think they're all boot up. Let's see. Okay, like this. Get better. So okay, let's do format table. Okay, no, sorry, wrong statement. Okay. So you can press F8, but I am on the Apple MacBook Pro in the Windows Azure VM, so I cannot use the function keys. They're all boot up, so we're gonna connect from DC1. Okay, so view. So here you are. Okay, password. So as it boot ups, I'm gonna pause the video. So we are here, so I'm gonna put all my servers here, excluding the NAT server, or add all 3 servers. Okay, SVR. Oh, it's easier. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's wait a minute. Pause. So we have all the servers. I had to restart server 2. Probably a Kerberos issue, but nothing problem. As I said, I will try as much to do all the things in one DC1, full server manager and PowerShell. Sometimes I will not be able to do it, maybe. So let's start to add and roll feature of iSCSI study, like as I told you in the first exercise we're gonna do. We're gonna configuring the storage for the cluster. So let's begin. I'm gonna do the GUID mode installation. I could do PowerShell script, but let's, for the video sake, let's do it from the GUID. So I choose SFV1. Then I go to File and Storage Service. Okay, so iSCSI target server. Okay, next, okay, stop. So let's pause the video just for a second. So we have installed the iSCSI target server. So in server 1. So let's move ahead and do the configuration. So I have to come here to iSCSI, file and storage, iSCSI, okay, let's create iSCSI virtual disk. Okay, it should appear on an SV1, that's right. So let's do it. We have to do one. So C, okay, iSCSI, oops, disk 1, okay, there, let's give 5G, let's stay dynamically expanded, okay, next. We don't have a target, so let's create a target for this server, okay, one SVR1, okay, next, let's add the value, okay, enter, IP address, so 172.16.0.12, okay, so next, you don't gonna enable authentication, but you could if you want a more secure environment for your clustering. So in this case, for the connection between the disks and the server, they are always authenticated before they are processed, so it will be an overhead in performance and overall resources, but way more secure for sure. It prevents the man-in-the-middle attacks in your data, to your data. So we are waiting. So we're gonna create some more disks. Okay. Completed the first disk. Now we're gonna create another one. iSCSI. Okay, not clustered yet. iSCSI disk 2. Next, 5 gigabits like the other one. Okay, now we have already, so let's see. And we're gonna do it one more disk. So close the last one. Okay. Okay, 5 gigabytes. Okay. Okay, so the next step it will be create the connections and the failover cluster, configuring that. So we're gonna go to server 2 and 3 and go at doing that. So I'm gonna change the virtual machine, this one. Okay, so I've already logged in to server 2. Okay, let's do here, server manager. By the way, these are always all of them data center editions. I have rearmed them prior to the lab. And if you take the course online or in a classroom, probably use the same machines as I do in the lab. These are not free royalty virtual machines, they are Microsoft property, so they are not available to the public. But as I said in the beginning of the session recording, you could use the test lab guides from Microsoft. They are very good. They are very good basis for making the lab and making labs and testing out all kinds of stuff in the Microsoft environment. Okay, let's put up Microsoft. The service is not running, it's already installed as the so let's bring it up. Okay, so now we're gonna want to go to the Discovery tab. We're gonna Discovery Portable, and we're gonna put all the our 16.0.11. Okay, let's do it. Okay, refresh. Targets. Okay, let's refresh. It's already seeing the so let's connect. Okay. Okay here. So let's move to SVR3. Already signing as a server manager, as guy's initiator. So then we're gonna check and initialize the disks on the disk management of both servers before we proceed to deploy and implementing the cluster per se. So we are already in the server manager. At last, they are not very fast virtual machines, but they have to do it. Sorry. So Discovery Portable. I'm gonna put the IP address of server 01. Okay. Nice. Okay. Refresh. Did the refresh on the other one, so whoops. Let's refresh this. Let's pause the video. So we have already discovered what the problem was. So now I think everything is okay. So target. Okay, it's here. Okay, I forgot to create the iSCSI target for the server free, so that's why it didn't appear the connection. So now connect, yes, add this connection to the list of favorite targets. So okay, everything is up and running again. So now we have to see if there is any disks anywhere. So I'm gonna pause the recording and start from server 2. So we made the connections from Exercise 2. Now continue. We're gonna enabling the disks to make them available for the cluster. So disk management, right click from start menu in server 2 in this moment. So I'm gonna I should have 3 disks here, so let's put this a little bit higher. Okay, disk 1. So we're gonna want to go from here. We have here 3 disks from 5 gigabytes. These are the ones we want. So bring online. Okay, so initialize disk. Let's maintain all the defaults for now. Okay, new simple volume. So let's call them data. Okay. Let's do the same here. Online. It's a little bit faster this time. Okay. It's 4. Then name it data 2 and data 3 respectively. So let's do it. Oops. Okay. All the way. Data. Oops. Sorry. Data 2. Okay. Finish. And the last one. Then we're gonna do the same to S7. Okay. So as a disk for SRV2. Okay, new simple volume. Next. Okay, let's label it data 3. Okay, next finish. Okay, we have to do the same to okay, let's wait. Okay, we have all the free disks. Let's go server free. They should have appeared at least, and we're gonna put them online. Okay, so same start button. Wait, sorry. Windows button. Okay, disk management. So here are the disks. So we're gonna do pretty much the same. We're not gonna create what's some went wrong here. Okay. Again. But as you can see, the disks are pretty much okay. So let's continue and hopefully it doesn't impair our web. Okay, so back to London SRV2, SVR2, so used to the old nomenclature, and close disk management. Let's cancel here, clear. Okay, so let's install a failover cluster feature. Remember that you cannot have both features for high availability. You cannot have network load balancing feature and failover clustering feature in the same server at the same time. Okay. Windows Server supports both, but not. Oops. Okay. So next, failover. Okay. Features. And we're gonna go to server 3, do the same. We could also here, like all the servers and do it here. Maybe try to do it just installing the feature. So then okay, I want SVR3 same. Okay, now crossing, yes, it's installing and install. Let's check out server 2. It'll take a while, so we're gonna pause the record. Okay, at least it's succeeded on London SVR2. So let's close here. Check the awesome. So if I wanted to continue to do all the management work and probably in a production environment, I will do it. I will have a server just for management, probably not the domain controller, but another server. Then I would install the remote server administration tools for the failover cluster and do it everything from that server. Maybe also because I will produce the clusters on, and I will then implement and install the cluster on the server core edition, not on the GUI edition. At least the problem, all the nodes, at least the majority of the nodes. So let's go to server 2. So in server 2 we're gonna go to tools, and remember I just installed the service in the future. So now I will create the cluster, and as I create the cluster I will give it an IP address for the object and Active Directory and for management and for the cluster purpose, and then I will join the nodes from 2 and 3, and hopefully they all see the storage, and the storage will work. And also we have to test the cluster in the production environment. It's important to validate the cluster. Do all the tests, green tests all the way, and for make sure that it's if you need it, we can call the Microsoft support. For the test purpose, you don't need to validate, or you just validate with some errors. Even if it has some errors, it will have, because mainly in the network area or the storage area it have no redundancy, so it is not per real cluster. Okay, so let's do it. Follow cluster manager. Okay, you should read all them. Okay, the first one on. Okay, let's wait. So we could take some time to do it, or for the video. So I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, it started. Okay, all the tests finish, probably with okay, you have a lot of them. You can see the report here. Now, okay, Okay, we can come back here later. So, gonna finish. I'm gonna rename our cluster 1. Probably I will use another name in production, but yes. Usually I say what the purpose of the cluster is, or I try to follow the corporation nomenclature that is defined for the servers or for the AD objects. I try to be logical enough with some security, let's say. Okay, let's see. We have all. Let's do all the defaults. So as we can make a little review, the first exercise with implementing, we deployed configured the storage on server 1. It's our sun per se, and it's finished. Then in exercise 2 we did the connection to the storage from server 3 and 2. We had a little problem with server 3 because I forgot to assign it to the connection on server 1 when I did the disks, so I only create one target for server 2. Then we configured the storage. We present the storage to server 2 and to server 3, and then we installed the features for failover clustering 2 and 3, and with a little twist on 3 we went to DC1, and from server manager with a remote capacity we installed the feature. It's quite the same as just for demonstration purpose. Then we test the cluster, that's all the components with some warnings, as you can see here. Probably not very important ones, but we should investigate it. So if I were in the production environment, I would still going to check all the warnings and errors or whatever stuff there is here to check. So let's finish and see what's happened. Okay, we have the cluster with no status, no role status yet. Not status. Oh, oops, what happened? Retrieving actions. Something is happening here. Okay, something with the storage space direct assist to disable. We could do it later. It's one of the first models, I think the second model of the course. When you talk the storage, we're gonna make a video about it. So we have the two nodes, and let's see the storage. Okay. Yes, we should. We have 3 disks, and the one is server free. Okay, we are okay. So let's go to roles and configuring a file server. Right click and start the wizard. So next, I'm gonna choose file server. Okay, I have to install the roles on both servers. So okay, now we're gonna purple use. Gonna name it file datum file server. Okay, I'm gonna address of and then okay. Select storage disk 2. Okay. Let's add a file share. Okay. Let's pause a little bit. So let's write on server 3 directly. So take a little moment. Okay. Let's see what's happened. Being too quick for the virtual machines. Okay, add file server, file share. This is really slow. Okay. Okay. So now okay. The wizard boot up. So we're gonna do a quick share, assembly quick share, suitable for general purpose. Okay, next. Let's take a little bit. Okay, we have now we're gonna share with docs, for example. Okay, docs. Okay. Because access by the enumeration. Okay. Encrypt data, but create. Okay, so let's confirm it. Yes, we have continuous availability for this one. Now this is the cluster volume share, so we don't, it will appear with another letter on SR2 if failover. This is the share. Okay, it's created. Looks okay. So back to here. Let's configuring this virtual machine in the cluster. So let's go here. Okay. How many times it will fail over in the period of 6 hours? Okay. Allow failback between 4 and 5 hours. Okay. Let's apply. We're also going to do good preferred, so we fall back for any one of them. So let's apply and okay. So now we have to validate it and try it. I'm gonna pause the video a little bit. I'm gonna stop the pause. So okay, for the last part of the exercise before we go to the update part, it's exercise 5. So we're gonna stop the video here and then we start on the 5. We're gonna validate and we're gonna test the share and the cluster itself. Okay, so I am on DC1. Open up Internet Explorer. Gosh. Okay, too much. Okay. Oops. So here we are. Let's create a document. Okay, so created the Adatum share usage policy just for purpose test, and let's see who is the owner right now. It could be one SRV or two. I bet that it's SRV3 the owner right now, and then we're gonna move and you're gonna see that nothing changes. Okay, so I'm gonna open some writing or whatever, some typing. Use wisely. Okay, save it. So it's winter in Portugal. We have a flu epidemic. By the way, I'm recording this from Campo Pequeno. I have a beautiful site for the bull ring Lisbon. I'm not particularly fond, or absolutely no fond of bullfights, but I live nearby. Okay, let's go to server 2, for example, and see who's the owner. It's the SRV. Okay, so let's move this node and gonna select the node. Okay, let's move it to here. Let's wait a minute. Running, already moved. Shoot. Sorry, folks. Okay, let's see if it's still here. Let's save, close. Let's refresh. Still here. Okay. Let's copy this stuff. Okay, let's close the window and try again. Okay. Nothing happened. Houston, we have a problem. I got to... Uh-oh. Problem. Let's see what is happening. Okay, the cluster seems quite alright. Let's see if... Oh, wait. I know what happened. I mistakenly... I didn't went to the share. I went to the share on the server, on the host server. Not... I tried to enter, and this is the only virtual networks, only Hyper-V networks. Okay. Alright. So we have tested and moved the cluster, so let's see what can we do more. Okay, let's see. Let's validate the cluster and on task 2 and quorum configuration for the file server role. So let's get back to server 2. Let's put on full screen for not... Okay, let's cancel that and get back to roles. Okay, the current owner is 2. We have just moved it, so let's go to this node and on SRV2 let's stop more actions and stop cluster service. Okay, let's see the roles. It's draining, it's here, so let's go already to run the DC1 and still here. Yes, let's write again. Yours. Let's save it. and it's still here. Okay, and okay, let's go to again to SRV2 and check the quorum configuration. You know they are still stop the service. Let's see the disks, what happened. Everything is on SRV3 and the disk witness to the quorum is this cluster 1. Okay, so let's bring back SRV2. Okay, it's joining. Okay, let's see once again. Okay, let's play with the quorum a little bit. So take offline. Yes. Okay. Let's switch back to London. If see the cluster is still working on DC1. Okay, still working on the file. Let's go once again to this. Okay, yes, still working. So back to 2, full screen. Okay, then let's bring it online. Let's refresh before. Okay, refresh. Let's see if okay, we don't have still. Let's bring it online. Okay. Refresh. Okay, still disk 1, and now we're gonna go to the configuration actions. Okay, cluster, oops, cluster configuration quorum settings. Okay, let's choose advanced quorum, but we're gonna okay, all nodes, blah blah blah. You can choose, you can force. Okay, configure disk witness, and let's choose free as the big distance. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have put it. Okay, tested the failover scenario. Okay, it's time to prepare the cluster and start to create the cluster and the exercise for the exercise 5. I'm gonna stop this video and be right back. Thanks for watching. So, be right back. We're back for the last part of the lab, of the failover clustering lab. We're going to do the exercise 5. It's configuring the cow on the failover cluster. For those you don't know what is cow or wondering what it means cluster update aware update service. Cluster aware update. It's a technology that was introduced in server 2012 R2 and it was improved on 2016 edition, so we're gonna try to make the lab because this virtual machine was supposed to connect to the internet, and I a little problem connecting them. Maybe because I am on the Azure server VM, and maybe it doesn't allow me to do not. I don't know. I have to check it. But anyway, I will try to do the best and try to show you how to use the cow, at least to implementing the role, and try to update one of the servers, or at least joining the servers to the service. The object of this service is do it the update of the cluster seamlessly, and if you want, fully automatic. So let's start. Let's go to manage. I'm going to install the failover clustering feature for purpose on DC1. Okay, I still have the servers. I didn't revert the virtual machines. So let's go to features, failover clustering. Okay, so let's wait a little bit. Let's pause the video. So the feature is installed, so let's see if we can use it. So the class is still working, as you can see. So let's open up the update ports on server 2 and server 3. Let's start from server 2 and let's log in, and let's go to server 3 because we need to log in also. Okay, so they are logging in. Okay, in server 2 right now, server manager, and then I'm gonna go to tools, Windows Firewall with advanced security. Okay, I'm gonna go to inbound rules and enable the two RPC rules and TCP in rules. Okay, inbound rule, we have the domain profile. Where it is? Okay, I think it's here. I'm looking for the remote shutdown. Here it is. Okay. Let's see if we can do it. Enable rule. Okay. We are done here. Let's go to service. Windows update, it should be right here. Okay, let's properties, automatic. Okay, why? Let's start. Okay, then here, let's go to server 3. So, okay, be easier. So tools, firewall. Rules. So already the service here, so it's faster. Oops. Fast. Okay, let's apply. Then start the service. Okay. Close this. And let's go back to London, DC1. Okay. Let's go tools and cluster aware updating. Here it is. Okay, let's see if there is cluster 1. Okay, connect. See if anything happened. Let's wait a minute. We had a problem with the plugin. I don't think this web will gonna end the proper way. I think it has something with the internet, so maybe we try, but anyway, the main purpose was showing the deployment and the installing of the cluster aware updating. All the management is done here, and if the process was concluded, we could update, and it would say last successful run and succeed when it was last run on a succeed or unsucceeded way. So we don't know when it ran the last time because it's the first time. You can generate some reports. If you had, we don't have any to generate, so we also can analyze the cluster readiness for the updating process. Probably it will go wrong with the errors, but let's wait. So the update and running was not update run was not successful. We can see we have some problems. I think maybe not the firewall is not working. It's not letting something pass. I think maybe the fact that we don't have internet to check for real updates for this cluster, maybe. Anyway, I want to show you how to configure the could have if you don't have in this prestige and okay. Okay, you can choose the frequency of the update, daily, weekly, monthly. I don't think this is also gonna work, but anyway. Let's see. So, next. So we apply the policy. Okay, so let's wrap up and hope that you enjoyed this record. So let's close the virtual machines. We don't need them anymore. Okay, so we had the lab, we did the configuring iStorage and the exercise 1, we configuring the failover cluster and implemented it on exercise 2 on London Sphere 2 and 3. The one was for iSCSI storage, it was like our sun. In exercise 3 we deployed the high availability file server, configuring it to serve our purpose. We tested it. On exercise 4 and exercise 5 we configured the cow or the cluster aware update service in future. Didn't went so well. We didn't have proper internet connection properly. Maybe the firewall rules on the servers were not in place yet. I don't know, but the main purpose maintained, and I think the objective of the lab was concluded. So it was a little bit longer than 60 minutes. We had some glitches, so I hope you enjoy, and if you are taking the course, I hope you are enjoying the classrooms, and if you are taking the exam, good luck.